that shares with you that they are not paying their taxes, doing lots of cash jobs, or whatever, just like evading taxes.
Yeah.
How do you approach that? Do you say anything?
Do I say anything? No.
What if it's a
leader in the church?
No, Christian brother.
Yeah, then I probably would. I mean, I guess there again, that would be an area where for me, it's been a area of growth and still an area where I would be tempted. So it's like, hey, I'm going to be probably a little, I wouldn't say less quick to jump on someone, but I would definitely be like, hey, this is an area where I've struggled. Hey, do you think this is, and I feel like I've led by example in the sense of like, hey, I'm in businesses with people. It's like, hey, this is how we're doing it now. We're doing it the right way, right? Where there's been periods of kind of,
the growth was that.
Well, it's just I would have had a tendency. I grew up in a culture where you paid the government as little as possible, and however you did that didn't matter, right? Even though I had a father who was honest to a fault, and I have a father-in-law who's honest to a fault. I've had lots of great influences. I feel like the general broader culture of people that in the culture was just don't give the government $1, they piss it away, and none of that actually matters, right? That's the.
It was interesting.
I will say, I'm going to say this because this is where the black and white thinkers right away jump on the bandwagon. Like, tax law is gray for a reason. Well, it's not gray for a reason. It just is gray, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Do you understand what I mean? Like, when I go to my accountant, he will say to me, he'll do the old shake the hands thing and say, well, where are we putting that? Or how are we doing this? Or he called me the other day with an idea, right? He said, hey, this is what we can do. We can mitigate some taxes here. Like,
that's why I like working with Josh Ream. He's a Christian.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
So you can actually like have some, like, same morals, right? Because
but even fellow Christian brothers, even fellow Christians are going to feel very differently on this issue. There's people that are just going to be like, man, if there's any question, I'm paying the tax. How could we avoid? If we don't want to be avoiding is negative. How could we be avoiding, right? There's other people who are like, man, that's a loophole. That loophole was created for me. I could feel that. It was given to me as a gift. Right. So it's like, it's a conscience thing. Full circle.
I was reading the passage about this at supper time the other day with the boys.
Yeah.
And so Jesus gets asked this question, of course, like, hey, do we pay taxes or not? And they're asking to trap him because they, of course, know that, like, it's going to a bad place, the taxes, you know, it's like there's crime happening.
Yeah.
Like
horrible people. They're horrible people.
Yeah. So he asks, he knows that. And so he asks for the coin, of course, and say, hey, whose name is on here? And so they say Caesar's. And he said, okay, give it to Caesar what is Caesar's. And I think what I took from the passage was that it's God saying, look, my world is way bigger than Caesar's world. Like, if I need to give you more money, you'll have more money. Like, Caesar is just one little thing and he has his little small kingdom, but I'm like, I control the whole world. And so don't worry, like, giving to Caesar what is Caesar's, but giving to God's what is God's.
So on that note, I always find it interesting. So one of the greatest ways to avoid paying tax is to donate money and to be generous.
Yeah.
You get, ironically, in Canada, you get the biggest tax receipt for giving to political parties, which I find which is total BS, but just the way it is. Yeah. And they always remind you of that when they call for a donation. But it's a massive tax credit. But I look at it as, hey, if you really hate paying taxes, just be insanely generous. And there again, I'm not a prosperity gospel guy, but man, like, God in the people's lives I see is very, very gracious to those that trust in him and give lavishly. And like, there's no better people. People love generous people. Like, there's nobody more beautiful than someone that just doesn't cling to their money too tightly, right? So,
but it also doesn't mean that the taxes aren't being spent in bad ways or that there's too high of tax. Like, I think that there's
separate issues.
Separate issues. Exactly.
Yeah, separate issues.
Those can still also be true.
They can also be true. So I always feel like, hey, you do the donation thing. And, I think it's like, hey, even if I look at it, like, there'd be people that would get a gift from a family member. You get a gift, like, if you get a gift from your grandma and, or whatever for $100 or $500 at Christmas, and it's like, is that income? Are you supposed to claim that? Well, like, there's going to be some person that says, yeah, that's income. You got that or whatever. And the next person's like, oh, it's not taxable. It's a gift. And, or like, hey, I got this cash for babysitting or this cash for this. Like, it's, I don't know. There again, I do believe it's a conscious thing. There's obviously people that are literally half their income is coming in brown ones and they're not paying it.
I would say if you're wondering about it, if you're working on it,
well, then it's a conscience thing. It's a conscience thing. That's why somebody's asking, right? They're either looking for an escape or they're wondering if someone else should be convicted. No?
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying, if you're wondering about it, whatever you're wondering about, if you're paying taxes,
whoever asked the question,
is pray about it. And then your conscience will say, if you actually pray about it a few times and spend time and be genuine about it, and you have clear conscience. But usually if you start praying about it and you don't have a clear conscience, it's
He
really
will
hard to
not
pray
let you
about.
rest. He will not let you rest.
So yeah.
Great question.
Okay. Thanks for listening. Next week, I will answer this question that came in. Listener question. Don't know who it came from. Came in anonymously on the website. And if you do have questions, do send them in. You can send them in anonymously. But this one says, the NRC and RCNA churches in Chilliwack are such a mystery to other people who don't attend. Can you shed a light on what it's actually like? I've heard there's a stoplight at the entrance of the church to let regular attendees choose their seat before visitors, or the rigidness and for lack of a better word, doom of their sermons, lack of grace and hope. So I will talk about that next week. Thanks for listening. Anything else you want to say?
We'll do real estate update next week too. Lots of real estate stuff
and
going on.
Gentle and Lowly's coming back next week.
Maybe, if we read the chapter.
We'll read the chapter.
Okay.
If you
Have
want,
a great week, guys.
Yeah, and if you want to hire someone, let me know.
Yeah.
Cheers. Hey guys, if you enjoyed that episode and were blessed by it, would you be willing to support the show? That would help a lot in creating more content, improving the quality of the content, putting the production value, getting more guests on, and me being able to spend more time and energy towards it. So if you're interested in doing that, you can click up here and it'll take you to a support page. But you can also subscribe to the podcast by clicking over here and doing that. Thanks again for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one.